Hello, today's daily reading comes from the book of the Apocrypha. We will be reading from the book of Jasher, chapter 54, verses 31 through 61, and it reads as follows. And Joseph said, Not to you only is strength given, for we are also powerful men. And why will you boast over us all? And Judah said unto Joseph, Send, I pray you, our brother, and ruin not your country this day. And Joseph answered and said unto them, Go and tell your father, an evil beast has devoured him, as you said, conquering your brother Joseph. And Judah spoke to his brother Naphtali, and he said unto him, Make haste, go now and number all the streets of Egypt, and come and tell me. And Simeon said unto him, Let not this thing be a trouble to you. Now I will go to the mount and take up one large stone from the mount and level it at every one in Egypt, and kill all that are in it. And Joseph heard all these words that his brethren spoke before him, and they did not know that Joseph understood them, for they imagined that he knew not to speak Hebrew. And Joseph was greatly afraid at the words of his brethren, lest they should destroy Egypt. And he commanded his son Manasseh, saying, Go now, make haste, and gather unto me all the inhabitants of Egypt, and all the valiant men together, and let them come to me now upon horseback and on foot, and with all sorts of musical instruments. And Manasseh went and did so. And Naphtali went as Judah had commanded him. For Naphtali was light footed as one of the swift stags, and he would go upon the ears of corn, and they would not break under him. And he went and numbered all the streets of Egypt, and found them to be 12. And he came hastily and told Judah, and Judah said unto his brethren, Hasten you and put on every man his sword upon his loins, and we will come over Egypt and smite them all, and let not a remnant remain. And Judah said, Behold, I will destroy 3 of the streets with my strength, and you will each destroy 1 street. And when Judah was speaking this thing, behold, the inhabitants of Egypt and all the mighty men came toward them, with all sorts of musical instruments and with loud shouting. And their number was 500 cavalry, and 10,000 infantry, and 400 men who could fight without sword or spear, only with their hands and strength. And all the mighty men came with great storming and shouting, and they all surrounded the sons of Jacob and terrified them. And the ground quaked at the sound of their shouting. And when the sons of Jacob saw these troops, they were greatly afraid for their lives. And Joseph did so in order to terrify the sons of Jacob to become tranquilized. And Judah, seeing some of his brethren terrified, said unto them, Why are you afraid, while the grace of God is with us? And when Judah saw the people of Egypt surrounding them at the command of Joseph to terrify them, only Joseph commanded them, saying, Do not touch any of them. Then Judah hastened and drew his sword and uttered a loud and bitter scream, and he smote with his sword, and he sprang upon the ground, and he still continued to shout against all the people. And when he did this thing, the Lord caused the terror of Judah and his brethren to fall upon the valiant men and all the people that surrounded them. And they all fled at the sound of the shouting, and they were terrified and fell upon one upon the other. And many of them died as they fell. And they all fled from before Judah and his brethren and from before Joseph. And while they were fleeing, Judah and his brethren pursued them unto the house of Pharaoh, and they all escaped. And Judah again sat before Joseph, and roared at him like a lion, and gave a great and tremendous shriek at him. And the shriek was heard at a distance, and all the inhabitants of Succoth heard it, and all Egypt quaked to the sound of the shriek, and also the walls of Egypt and of the land of Goshen fell in from the shaking of the earth, and Pharaoh also fell from the throne upon the ground, and also all the pregnant women of Egypt and Goshen miscarried, and when they heard the noise of the shaking, for they were terribly afraid. And Pharaoh sent word, saying, What is this thing that has this day happened in the land of Egypt? And they came and told him all the things from beginning to end. And Pharaoh was alarmed, and he wondered, and was greatly afraid. And his fright increased when he heard all these things. And he said unto Joseph, saying, You have brought unto me the Hebrews to destroy all Egypt. What will you do with that thievish slave? Send him away and let him go with his brethren, and let us not perish through their evil, even we, you, and all Egypt. And if you desire not to do this thing, cast off from you all my valuable things, and go with them to their land. If you delight in it, for they will this day destroy my whole country and slay all my people. Even all the women of Egypt have miscarried through their screams. See what they have done merely by their shouting and speaking. Moreover, if they fight with the sword, they will destroy the land now. Therefore, choose that which you desire, whether me or the Hebrews, whether Egypt or the land of the Hebrews. And they came and told Joseph all the words of Pharaoh that he had said concerning him. And Joseph was greatly afraid at the words of Pharaoh, and Judah and his brethren were still standing before Joseph, indignant and enraged. And all the sons of Jacob roared at Joseph like the roaring of the sea and its waves. And Joseph was greatly afraid of his brethren, and on account of Pharaoh and Joseph sought a pretext to make himself known unto his brethren, lest they should destroy all Egypt. And Joseph commanded his son Manasseh, and Manasseh went and approached Judah, and placed his hand upon his shoulder, and the anger of Judah was stilled. And Judah said unto his brethren, let no one of you say that this is the act of an Egyptian youth, for this is the work of my father's house. And Joseph, seeing and knowing that Judah's anger was stilled, he approached to speak unto Judah in the language of mildness. And Joseph said unto Judah, surely you speak truth, and have this day verified your assertions concerning your strength. And may your God, who delights in you, increase your welfare. But tell me truly why, from among all your brethren, do you wrangle with me on account of the lad, as none of them have spoken one word to me concerning him? And Judah answered Joseph, saying, surely you must know that I was security for the lad to his father, saying, if I brought him not unto him, I should bear his blame forever. Therefore have I approached you from among all my brethren, for I saw that you were unwilling to suffer him to go from you. Now therefore may I find grace in your sight, that you will send him to go with us. And behold, I will remain as a substitute for him, to serve you in whatever you desire. For wheresoever you will send me, I will go to serve you with great energy. Send me now to a mighty king who has rebelled against you, and you will know what I will do unto him and unto his land. Although he may have cavalry and infantry, or an exceedingly mighty people, I will slay them all and bring the king's head before you. Do you not know, or have you not heard, that our father Abraham with his servant Eliezer smote all the kings of Elam with their host in one night? They left not one remaining. And ever since that day our father's strength was given unto us for an inheritance, for us and our seed forever. And Joseph answered and said, you speak truth, and falsehood is not in your mouth. For it was also told unto us that the Hebrews have power, and that the Lord their God delights much in them, and who then can stand before them? Amen.